everybody. We are live here today on Empress Interview Series, episode number 3. I'm really sorry we are a little bit late. We had some technical issues that we needed to handle, and we are having today Urška Jakobčič here. She is a certified mastery coach, and we will be talking about how to handle your stress, how to deal with your stress effectively. So we will present some techniques, and we will have a workbook and practical exercise that we are going to go through. So for anybody who is joining us live, please comment #live. For anybody who is on a replay, use #replay. It helps the Facebook algorithm to push the event and the group to everybody who needs it. And we would love to know where you're from, what you're facing with, what are your stress factors, and you're welcome to comment below as well. Also, Urška is available to answer any of your questions that you may have. So please use the opportunity to your advantage and discover more about how you can handle your stress more effectively. So a little bit about me. I'm an empowerment coach. I help women to get into their power, to step into their power, to resolve confidence issues, self-esteem issues, imposter syndrome, and also overcome narcissistic abuse. And eventually, if you have the joy and the desire to build your online business, I'm here for you as well for that, because I have a background in digital marketing, and a big passion for online businesses, and I know Urška has as well. And Urška is certified mastery coach. And Urška, I would give a word to you to tell us a little bit more about what that is and how you can help people to manage their stress.
Okay, so hi everybody, nice to meet you. I'm Urška. As a certified mastery coach, I help people with their mindset, the issues that are setting them back. And mastery coaches, we go through this specific work or thought process. We help you go there and explore what is bugging you and how you can change that, how you can see things differently. It's called the Legends Wheel. And it's actually, the process is pretty much described in the worksheet. Not worksheet.
We are not.
I still need to warm up my mouth for English pronunciation, because Slovenian doesn't need so much enunciation, right?
Yes, of course.
So how I became a mastery coach? Well, in the business program I am in, they also offered a 2 months free membership of free calls that helped us with our mindset. And the process is pretty simple, but often you can't do it on your own, because you need someone to show you a different perspective and, to bring you to a different point of view and different way of thinking. So when I experienced mastery coaching for the first time, I was hooked because it changed everything. I had a headache and I was all like, oh my God, I can't do this. And after just 30-minute session, it was like, I'm light again, my headache was gone, and it was no fluff, just talking and guiding me to a better solution. So when opportunity came to become a mastery coach, I said, yeah, I'm in, definitely. I
Mm-hmm.
want to help others experience these things. And so, yeah, I went for it.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So, do you right now, because we are having the interview about stress management, and because you're having an upcoming masterclass on this topic, did you specialize for managing the stress, or does your coaching work also include other areas?
Yeah, mastery coaching can work on any area, but my my coaching offer as a whole package is focused on stress. But I do individual sessions on other things, not necessarily the stress,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
whatever mindset troubles someone may have.
mm-hmm. So, can you tell us a little bit more about this upcoming masterclass? When is it starting? What is gonna include? How long is gonna last? And what can people get out as a solution? What's the transformation that you offer to your clients?
Okay, so the free masterclass has already started. We had our first session yesterday.
Mm-hmm,
But if anybody wants to join, you can still watch the replay, of course.
mm-hmm,
Just let us know in the comments and I'll invite you to it. Um, so, tonight we're going to talk about the mindset and how you can change it. And then on Sunday, we will have some grounding techniques that I find most useful for when you're in a situation that you need to change your stress immediately, when you don't have like 5-10 minutes to just sit down alone with your thoughts, but you need to do it like that.
mm-hmm,
So this is what I'll be teaching on Sunday evening in Central Europe time zone.
mm-hmm. So, is the masterclass held every day, or how is it structured?
I held one part yesterday, one part will be today, and one on Sunday.
Uh-huh, okay, because I was
So it's a three part
suspect.
masterclass.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, good, good. Just to be clear on that. Well, that sounds amazing. Um, can you tell me a little bit about stress and how it relates to the mindset? So,
Mhm.
is there any way that our mindset causes stress, or does our stress causes the mindset change? How does this work in your view?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. It can actually be both. See, stress is a normal physiological response to some life threatening situations, some pressures. Even bacteria have stress. So
Mm-hmm,
anything that pressures you somehow that you need to get out of the normal, if we call it, from the baseline, it can be considered as stress. And so we have, like, if we simplify it, we have two parts of brain and one, well, two kinds of brain, let's say it like that. One is the reptilian brain, so the primitive brain, the little parts here and
mm-hmm,
go in the neck. Um,
mm-hmm,
and they are that part is responsible for the keeping us alive, so breathing, digestion, and so on. And it's also responsible for labeling something as threatening or a non-threat. So this is the our reptilian brain doing that.
mm-hmm,
But then we have the cognitive brain, so it's the brain and the white matter. And this is the creative part, the thinking part. And
and
uh,
one is also on. two parts, right? Like
Yeah, the left and the right hemisphere, but this is not really so important, right, in the stress response. The thing is that when we get into some situation that can be considered as life threatening, if we experience it as danger, our primitive brain will label it as danger forever. It will see it again and again and again, and each time it will see it, we will be all alert and on fence. What's going on? I'm in danger. I need to be alert. And in that situation, all the stress hormones get released. And if that situation doesn't go away, those stress hormones don't go down. So you're constantly in the stress alert. But the good news is that our cognitive part of the brain can change that. It can reprogram our brain to not see that thing as a threat anymore. So this is where the mindset kicks in.
So how can people do that actually?
Well, we can go into the worksheet. Will you share the screen or will we just talk by heart?
Right now, I don't have a screen sharing set up through StreamYard. So let me just try something. So anybody who doesn't yet have the worksheet, you actually have it as link in the description of the event and also in the files section of the group. On the top of the group, you have files, and then when you click it, you will see the list of all files uploaded to the group. So the most recent one is the worksheet that we are going to use now. So just download it with one click, and it will land in your computer. Open it, and so you'll have it on your. So you can use it. Just give me a second. Ah, okay. Because I clicked away. Just yeah, it was. I didn't notice it, but let me just see. We are back. Okay, cool. I would like to share this worksheet, but yeah, we can't do it like now, right now, because
Okay.
it immediately skips to another scene that I'm setting up in the program, So I just suggest,
Okay, no problem.
yeah, we are gonna read out the questions, and as we will go through them, I will fill them out, and you can as well. So to experience that in real time, and if you'll be watching the replay, you can also do this with us, or just download the worksheet and fill it out with your own questions so you will be able to manage your stress better, to identify it, and then release it as well.
Yeah, you can also just grab a pen and paper and just write the answers down.
Yeah.
It's not really necessary to print out right now.
Amazing.
Okay, so what I forgot to say before is that the stress is actually a good thing. It helps us react and it can save our lives and so on. You don't want to jump in front of the car and just stay there. You want to get off the road and stay safe. But the problem is with the chronic stress. So when you have the chronic stress and you are keeping your cortisol high, the main stress hormone, all the time, then a lot of problems happen in your body. It stops your immune system, it stops your digestive systems. You crave for glucose, sugary food, because your brain needs more glucose when it's in stress state. It can also it stops your reproductive systems, and so women who are in stress a lot, they have really problems getting pregnant or keeping the baby. So it can also cause cancer, because when you are stressed, your immune system is on hold, because we have a fight going on and we can't clean up the things that are doing harm in our body, because that's our immune system is not just fighting bacteria and viruses and other things. It cleans up our toxins, it kills the cancer cells, it cleans up our dead cells, and so on. So it's really important to know how to deal with your stress on a daily basis. Otherwise, you can get a lot of problems from the elevated blood pressure and the danger of stroke and so on.
Can you tell me why do we like to go after, for example, drug or alcohol abuse, so abuse of substances, when we are on a high level of stress in some way?
Yeah, because they release the serotonin in our brain, and that high keeps you like happy, but it doesn't solve anything long term. It just gives you that short term relief, and that's why it's bad, because it's also addictive. And some people they get addicted on the good stuff too. So I mean, sport and so on, and that's not a good thing either, because if you are running away from your problems, if you are running away from your stressors, it doesn't really matter if you're doing a lot of sports or if you are doing alcohol or drugs. It's practically the same as if you're not solving anything, you're just running away.
So what would you suggest, like if you need to spike up your serotonin in some way, and also running away is not the optimal option to really solve the problem at hand, how to go about to resolve this issue? Because I know when people, when we can be on a low state of frequency, basically, of our emotional state, it's so hard to actually be productive and go about winning the thing that you want to win, right? So this is caused of low serotonin levels, for example, on a physical plane. So how do you solve this problem actually? You are low on serotonin, you can't go and run away from it, and exercise can help you, but maybe something else would be better to really confront the stressors, right? So
I
how
mean, exercise is a great idea to, get rid of stress right now. I mean, like if you come home and your head is like it's full of everything, and you just want some peace and quiet, but then you come home to three hungry children who are screaming, and they all want your attention, and they all want some comfort or some love, and you just want to run away. Well, what is good is to take that negative energy that's piled up on you, and just you can run like crazy on the spot, and maybe your children will be looking like, "Mom, what's going on with you?" And you will get into a humorous state of mind. I mean, you can now operate from the humor, because you're doing something weird and funny, and you're changing that energy into something good.
Yeah.
Like this is one way. There are many ways. One is just make a neuro shift, as we call it. You just see one situation that seems awful, stressful, you don't like it. You start searching for something that you can be grateful in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like when my kids come all at the same time and they fight and it's too much noise, I just have to switch in my head and see, oh, they're so cute, oh, how I love them, and so on, even if they are fighting and would be driving me crazy like a year ago. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gratitude is, I think, one of the most effective ways to
Yeah.
switch from the disempowered state to the empowered state.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, when you have some time to go explore what was going on, why did you react the way you did, then this workbook will come very handy because it's great to untie your thoughts and your emotions about some certain facts. So maybe we should
Yeah.
just go to it.
Let's do this. We have some comments. Karen is saying hi.
I
And Heidi, I don't have the word for English, but she has a very similar name as me. She is also commenting that she's having some connection issues, so I hope she will stay with us or at least come back. Yeah, so welcome everybody, and just to remind you, you have an option to ask questions, and we will proceed to the workbook now. So when you download it, you can just scroll to the second page, and you have it open as well, right, Urška?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So do you want to
So
start?
sure. The first thing I would advise you to do is just to write all the things that you see as your stressor right now. So sources of stress. It can be what someone said, what happened today, what's happening on daily basis, and the list can get very long, or you can just name one.
Mhm. Let me just, I'll grab the notebook rather than a paper because my table shakes when I write on it. So not have any disturbances like this. So
But you can do that other times, so we don't take too much time with this.
okay.
Just let's go to question number 2. Pick one
Mm-hmm.
of those stressors, the first that comes up to you, and remember a specific event that made you feel stressed out about it. So, like my mom said I don't look good in that skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then you write your thoughts around it. Like, why does she always have to say that? Why does she always have to put me down? All she does is criticize me,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so just writing down the thoughts, how you're thinking about this subject when,
Yes.
or this event that happened and it stressed you out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we go further,
Mm-hmm.
you can ask yourself, and please tell me if I'm going too fast.
Mm-hmm.
You need to ask yourself, why is it important for you? Like, if I use that example, why is it important to me what my mom thinks? well, it could be because I love her and I want her to think good of me, or it could be, I don't know what kind of reason you have, that this event was important for you, and what your thoughts around that were.
Mm-hmm. So, mm-hmm. So what if a person, for example, um, got criticized constantly, for example, and this is
Mhm.
basically a critic in this example. And I believe a lot of people can get stressed because of the critic, because when we were young, we could have experienced the criticism of our parents, and because of the multiple events, depending on the personality of the parent, you might have had a lot of criticism in life. For example, in narcissistic abuse, there is like daily criticism that then damages the self-esteem and confidence of a person, right? So
Mhm.
in this case, if a person remembers, okay, my mom said I don't like she doesn't like the skirt, does the person need to go only into this event, or should they look into other events that were similar in life? You know what I mean?
They can go. They can go. Because when you go deeper in this, that yeah, you can go, definitely you can go deeper, and then some other things can unravel. Like what well, we should go. We should go on the next question because um, this will actually answer your question. Or do you have a specific case? Maybe we can coach you through this.
No, but just because you mentioned the topic, like
Hmm.
exactly the example where there is criticism present, and I know from experience and from my work when I was dealing with this, one of the biggest stressors in my life have been criticism, right?
Hmm.
And I know this damages confidence a lot, you know, and
Yeah.
because the audience here uh, is here because of this topic, right?
Hmm.
Because of the confidence, you might have poked the right example, you know, and that's why I'm asking, you know.
Okay. So maybe under the question three, why is it important for you? It could be because I really like this skirt. I paid a lot of it, a lot for it, and I think I look good in it. And it, you know, it really hurts when my mom said that. So if we go under question four, how do you feel about it? I
Uh-huh.
felt hurt.
Mhm.
I felt annoyed, maybe, and so on. And you can also explore why. Why did you feel that way?
Mhm.
And you can try to remember when was the last time you felt like that, or the first time you remember you felt like that, and explore more what happened then.
Mhm.
But this is, I didn't go into such details in the questions because I wanted to keep it simple.
Mhm. Okay.
And we can go on if you want.
All right. Yeah, sure. I was just asking because I know when people will be watching this, this is something that may come up as a question, you know. Should I go
Yes.
deeper, or should I just stay on this topic and and like there's one specific problem, right? One specific thing that was actually the problem in the event, the most important one. You may have several, but
Oh, yeah.
one is the most important one. And I believe you contact this even if you go through one event, or if you go through to the last one or the first one that happened, right? But is the difference? Do you need to go so deep to at least partially resolve the stress, or you don't need to go? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this completely depends on how much stress this thing cost you, how deeply it affected you. Because it can turn out that this one event was not meant as an attack on you. But if you felt like really deeply wounded by that, you can go deeper, and then you can realize that this is not the same as when you were like 5 years old, or some memory that comes up for you, that, or maybe that you perceived all those memories of criticism, maybe they weren't meant as bad as they were, because like I see that on my children, especially the biggest one. He'll be 7 soon, and he says, "You're constantly criticizing me. I can't do anything right." And I'm like, "I'm not criticizing you at all. I'm not saying you're doing things wrong, or that there's anything wrong with you." But I need to tell you when you do something wrong, so you don't repeat it, or that you don't do it all the time. It's okay if you do mistakes more often, but I don't want you to do mistakes all the time. Like, he wrote number 5 in the wrong direction. So this is not meant as a criticism. It's just meant as a correction. So you learn that this is not the right way how we write number 5. And yeah, it's I see that he perceives my comments as criticism, and it's sometimes really hard to find the right way how to tell a child that he's doing something in a wrong way, but that there's nothing wrong with him or her. So
I see
this
what
is,
you mean. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes parents, they want to parent their children with criticism, because they don't know the other way. They just don't know how to raise, because they were raised that way, and they think, yeah, if I criticize my child, if I tell them all the things that are wrong with them, then they will do better. They will make sure that this won't happen again, and they are not realizing what big scars they are causing. But it can happen that people will experience something as criticism even when it's not. So this is an important thing to explore. Is it really meant to hurt you, or is it meant to just correct you? I hope this makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you for your answer. So let's proceed to the next question then.
Okay, so my mom said that. What did I do when that happened? I fought back. I I shut down. I went away. I went to my room. I went and changed that skirt. So in my case, it would be like I got annoyed and I didn't want to talk to her, or I said something mean back to her because I felt she was mean to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And the end result would be us not talking, or us feeling both bad about the situation. We both lost this one. There is no winner here. And then you can ask yourself a really important question. What result would you want instead?
Mm-hmm. So how would the thing or situation event look like if it was best in your view?
Yes, the way I would prefer this situation would happen. But you can't say, I wish my mom wouldn't criticize me, or that she didn't say that, because that's the fact. It happened. You can't change the past.
Mm-hmm.
You can only think what would be a different result. So we're not changing the thing we wrote under number 2. We're changing what we want under number 6.
Mm-hmm. So number 2 is pick one and remember specific event, right? You're not
Yeah.
trying to change the event, but
Exactly.
end result.
Just the result, what happened in the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in my case, I would prefer that I was able to accept what she said without reacting, without, I mean, this is my case. Each person will have the same fact, they will react completely different, and they would want a different result.
Yeah.
So in my case, it would be, I wish I could not react to it. I wish I could just accept her opinion like I would from a stranger or from a coworker or from a friend. And I'm sorry I'm shaking, but it's very cold here, even though I have heat on. But
Yeah. I hope you won't freeze.
no, I have a warm sweater, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
So um, this is what I would like, that I could react um, in a more calming way, that I wouldn't get annoyed by what she said.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to the next questions, what do I have to go to do to get there?
Mm-hmm.
What actions should I take to not fight back, or to not get pissed by her
Mm-hmm.
by her comment?
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is what each person needs to explore for themselves. Um, like in my case, it would be that I can see her as a person, not as my mom, but as a person in whole, not as her role. And I can try to see if there's any truth in what she said. So I can make a picture of myself in that skirt and see if she's right or not. Or I could also just acknowledge what she said. Okay, you think so? Thank you for your opinion, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, or I could just take a few deep breaths and not care about what she said. There are many options, but whatever I would do that would be different from what I did, instead of fighting or, running away, if
Mm-hmm.
I would do something from these options, I would get a different result.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't, um, I wouldn't feel so bad about it
Mm-hmm.
as I do right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so if that would happen, how would I feel?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would feel more empowered, actually. I would feel like, oh, her comments don't really need to affect me.
Yeah.
Um, I would feel better and calmer about that. I would feel more love for my mother, because when you are angry or in some weird state, you can't really feel so many good feelings. You can't really be in a disempowered and empowered state at the same time. You can't feel happy and sad at the same time. You can only switch really quickly, but that's on rare occasions, actually.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when we are stressed out, how it relates to empowerment, I see it as something that we cannot control, right? When we feel that we only can be the effect of something rather than to be the cause of it, then you feel disempowered, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because you can't really, because you believe you can't control it, it puts you in a stress. Like do you see it like that, or do you have any other viewpoints on this?
Yes, I do see it that way. It's like, um, oh, I wanted to say so many things at the same time that now
Yeah.
I got nothing.
So the question is, do like apparently the stress is caused, like we can feel stress when we feel that we are not in control, that we are the effect of something, right? And that we
Yeah.
cannot be the cause of it. Like in this case, a mother said, yeah, I don't like that skirt, it looks horrible, you look horrible in it, right? It's hideous skirt, right? And then a person can't really control her opinion, right? But
No.
when you put yourself into the cause point, you can do it in that way, like you explained, to have a new thought about it, right? I don't care about
Exactly.
opinion, or uh, or maybe to examine, maybe she's right, maybe I'll choose another clothes, another skirt, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you cannot control the facts, and the facts are the things that happened in the past. It can be people. You can't control your circumstances in most cases. So yeah, you can't control what other people will say or what other people will do. You can only control yourself and how you react to them. And if you have the power to choose, you don't need to go on autopilot the way you respond every time. You get to choose how you want to respond. And this is where this mastery coaching comes in, because a lot of times we don't know how to get through this process of changing our autopilot responses to actually conscious responses. So yeah, it takes a lot of it takes extreme ownership of your life, of your the ways you react, the ways you think, and so on, to manage your life in the best way.
Yeah.
Because yeah, in many times when people say something that hurts you or puts you in a stress, in many cases it's true. But we are just not ready to accept it because we see it as criticism. We don't see it as just a remark or something, because yeah, a lot of times it's expressed too directly, and it reminds us of the past experience when our parents shamed us, and then you feel small again, or you feel
Yeah, you
you know
basically feel like you felt when it was happening to you, or it happened to you in a very young age,
Yes.
possibly, right?
Yeah, and the primitive brain starts its own its part. It starts guarding you from this possible threat because
Yeah,
it perceives this comment as threat, and then all these defense mechanisms, they rise up again, and that takes a lot of energy.
yeah, yeah.
So if I go back to this to the final question, what are my new thoughts around this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my mom just expressed her opinion. I don't need to agree with her, but she probably didn't mean to hurt me. She loves me. She wants the best for me. So maybe she really feels that way, that me in that skirt, maybe I don't look so great in that skirt, or maybe I should style it differently and still wear that skirt.
Yeah,
I get into this peaceful state now with this new thought that, yeah, my mom actually wants the best for me. She didn't mean to critique me. If I think about it better, she just said it in a normal way. She didn't say, "Oh, this skirt is hideous, and you in it are hideous too."
mm,
She just said, "Yeah, this style may not be the best for you." And even though it was expressed in a soft way, I heard it as this skirt is ugly.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
a lot in perception of the things that happened.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of have a thought, that um when you were saying this, right? You said, yeah, my mom loves me, right? And she wants the best for me. This was kind of the relieving thought, when like yeah, you react on that criticism, but maybe it's not even the critic or the criticism that upsets you, but it's something that's a little bit deeper, like being loved by a mother, right? You know?
Yes, and if we go back to the question number, what was it? 3. Why is it important for you?
Mm-hmm.
You might as well realize because you love your mother and you want her to think good of you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You want her to love you, and this didn't make you feel loved, what she
yeah,
said.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing. So when you go through the whole exercise, you can actually have a bird's eye view on the problem at hand, right?
Yes,
Maybe you can realize something that you weren't aware of it before, but you just knew it upsets you, it gave you stress, if I put it that way, but then you can find the real cause that you may even
yes,
state why is it important for you, right? But you don't realize it immediately how important it is actually, right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is how you get your breakthrough with mastery coaching. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, some things are easy to work on your own, like like this
Yeah,
case. Even though it could be quite deeper, and if there are more deep emotional wounds, then you need a bit more sub questions,
yeah,
to really get to the core of it. But easy things anyone can go through, and your stress levels will go down when you get to the different thought. It's not just, think differently. It's not just, like you can change a thought like that, or I'll just do the opposite, or I'll just think the opposite. That's a bit too simple to really work. You need to
yeah,
go through the whole process. But for some deeper problems that even when you go through this thing, for these questions. Sometimes you need professional help, a certified mastery coach. Even I need them at times. I call my colleagues and then they coach me because there are some questions that they don't come up, and then you need some neutral person to ask you the right questions and offer a different perspective.
Yeah. It's absolutely easier to battle demons in two than in one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you give me an example of stressors that people might have problem with? Because, for example, we didn't realize something even when we were going through the exercise. You might not realize what stresses you out or why is it important for you. So can you give, I don't know, 3 to 5 examples that people are usually having stress with, and that you can help them with this masterclass? Who
Uh-huh.
would
Yeah.
benefit from that the best?
So it's mostly focused on moms or
Mm-hmm.
mompreneurs, but of course you don't have to be a mom to work with me. It's just uh, the target audience
Yeah.
because in my group I have mostly moms, but um, otherwise I coach people on relationships,
Mm-hmm.
how to have better relationships. So yeah, that's one of the big stressors, people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the time management, which is a huge one in today's time. Um, what else? Uh, I need to remember. Well, these are the main two, of course. Then we have the, the stressors we're not really, that we don't even know there are. Um, these are mostly invisible stressors, like the toxins in our food and in our environment. So this one comes under the bonus session.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then it's when you're all overloaded, when there is just too much things happening, and you need to learn how to keep your cool when everybody's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's also one part of my program, to teach you how to do that. What else? Yeah, and it's about how to organize your day and organize your thoughts, and how to go through life with more ease and more gratitude, and not get sucked into the speed race of everything and the overwhelm of our daily life, and mostly to see overwhelm differently, to see it in as a thing of abundance, but in a good way, to focus on the good things, not just bad things.
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question, because
Yeah, sure. So, okay, would you like to add something to our interview? Is there anything that you would like to discuss more about? Maybe even about the master class, or whatever else that maybe I haven't asked.
well, you were pretty thorough.
Good as me. And
So
you were answering all of that, right?
yeah, I would like to invite people to my free masterclass. The second part will happen in 1 hour in my Facebook group. So just contact me and I will read these comments here, or if you are watching this later, I can send you a replay. You can also tell Heidi that you would like to see this or join.
Heidi. My name is properly pronounced Heidi. And
Oh, sorry.
no, it's fine. It's a common mistake, but like 70% of people first time call me that, so
Yeah,
that's why
because
I
I
mentioned it
misread it
also
here.
here.
It's super small on the screen. It's super small because I have two parts open, and I didn't see an A. I mean, I saw an A instead of E. So
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's a common mistake, so it's fine. I like to correct when it happens because it's so common that it's like at one point in my life, this was a big stressor for me,
Oh,
you see, and because I felt like my name and my being is not really respected. But then I figured out that it's not that I'm not respected, just people uh, don't know that, when
yeah,
I examined, it was the similar process like we had here today, right? When I
yeah,
examined what's happening actually here, I figured out that they don't know. I just need to tell them, So
exactly,
a lot of tension and stress fell away from that, right? So
exactly.
it's a good thing to examine what are the stressors and what is actually going on
Yeah.
in the area.
And I always have a laugh when people are trying to pronounce my name, the people who are not from Slovenia.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's Urška, Urkska.
Yeah, yeah. We just need to communicate what are our needs and wants,
Yeah,
and be attentive for what are the needs and wants of others, so everything is well then.
yeah, and a lot of people live in the state of being offended by everything and anything, and they actually want to be offended for others.
Yeah.
Like they're okay, maybe this is going on a slippery slope when I say this, but like in America, there are white women offended for black people when someone is racist. Okay, yes, this is a big issue. It's not cool to be racist and so on, but why do you take it so personally and be offended by something, you know, it doesn't have anything to do with you. Okay, you feel bad for those people, you don't want injustice in the world, but if you take these things so personally, imagine what big stress you are building on these things. I mean, it's one thing to fight for the right thing, but it's other to be offended by anything and everything.
Yeah.
Because when you fight for what is right, you're not offended by these things.
Yeah.
You act from the point of empowerment.
Yeah.
You're not acting from that that little ego part, right?
Yeah. And it's usually not as it's if it is stressful, to fight for the things that you believe in, because you need to confront the others that do not agree with you, right? This
Yeah.
this stress is not as big, and it doesn't cause you to fall down on your energy levels, like
No, it
into
will give you energy
yeah
if
yeah
this
yeah
is really your calling.
yeah. So basically, standing up for your for what you know is right, it gives you more power than stress. even though it can be stressful to some degree because of the pushback that you're going to experience from the outside, from external world, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Urška, I'm so happy we have you here. We had you here on this Empress Interview Series.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to come up later, contact me, tell me. Um, Also, I suggest we put your masterclass link and your group link below in the comments after the
Yes.
interview. If people will be contacting you, I'll be so happy for you, of course, but just so they can access it immediately, I think it's the best to put the link to have it there. And for anyone else who is listening, um, if you want to be featured in Empress Interview Series, you can contact me as well, and we'll set a quick call to meet each other and see how this works out, and agree on Empress Interview Series, so you'll have an option to show the world what you stand for and what you fight for as well, and what's your point of empowerment, so you can empower others as well in the world. So thank you, Urška, again for being here.
Thank you,
And
Heidi.
I think this is it for today's interview. Do you want to add something, Urška, before we end up the stream?
No, just I wish y'all a stress-free life. Of course, completely stress-free probably isn't possible, but but with as little stress as possible, because stress is good for us in small doses.
Yes, yes. Great.
And I hope to see you soon. And I'm looking forward to future interviews of other empresses in our group, right?
Yeah, of course. We have the next interview we are having is next week on Wednesday. And it's actually gonna be with a confidence coach. So anyone who wants to dive deeper into confidence, join us next Wednesday. Um, you have event listed on the events page. Also, the interviewee, the Empress who is gonna be interviewed, is the lady that I mentioned before, Heidi. And she will also be holding a master class that you will want to know about. It's free and it's for your good for your self-esteem and confidence. So you're welcome to join us on an interview on Wednesday. So that's it. Thank you so much again, Urška, for being here, for bringing people techniques for handling the stress, for dealing with the stress. And I definitely had an epiphany or two about how this technique works. So thank you for bringing this here.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye everybody. I'm wishing you all well and see you on Wednesday.